these early phases, but they don't need the Ferraris to get away. He knows from the sprint yesterday, and we've got 3 cars off in the background.
Lawson in the Racing Bulls, but he carried on his way. There were 3 cars. Carlos Sainz, as we see the leading pack streaming through now.
Yeah, the Red Bulls got away nicely, didn't they? So it's a Noah's Ark running.
Down the hanger straight and into Stowe, and Oscar Piastri thinks he's gone. Now into Vale we come. Charles Leclerc from Hamilton.
On their overboost yesterday in a 17-lap sprint. They're not wide off the start line there. So they're not doing that of the sprint yesterday. So I think the 2 Mercedes drivers...
So Oscar Piastri is down into 18th. We saw going off at Brooklands. Early to Max Verstappen.
And Russell will be having to use up his battery, recondition it, and he'll lose ground to the top 3. George, very briefly out there.
Yeah, someone's gone off as Hulk at the bottom of the pack. Hamilton is 8/10 behind his teammate, and at the moment the Ferraris holding the rest.
You've got Hadjar ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen looks like he's far, but at the moment it's all settling down now as they try to afternoon. There's been an awful lot of track action since then, and at the inside of his teammate.
But the old switcheroo maybe in up a slipstream now down the Wellington straight to try and get back past Max to force his way through.
And this is giving Russell the breathing space he needs. Other damage as well. They struggle to get the old nose off. So that's actively as there. Verstappen gets wide in and behind them, then Norris can start catching up. But it's given Russell and get on with his race.
Yeah, the battles are going on behind George Russell at the moment. They are, it might investigate Albon and Behrman if we saw those cars going off. Meanwhile, Bortoletto up into 11th place.
Up to P10 and in the World Championship points.
Avoided all the lead. 6 and a bit tenths of a second between Leclerc and Hamilton. Half a megajoule of energy, replacing the DRS from last year. On the 2 Ferraris, and in fact the last lap, George Russell, Verstappen ahead of Hadjar, Norris ahead of Lawson, Lippard tyre, and they maybe hope, McLaren, that he can go to the end of the race. If we can, Anthony Davidson's got some news on the start.
Yeah, crafted into 2nd gear. His engineer Bono was quickly on the radio. In Austria, he's got to keep his cool at this stage in the race, but I get we do to work as a team. Further down the field, Piastri.
And Alex Albon hits Ollie Behrman. That's why that is there. Seems to be breaking free at the moment of that. Martin, only on lap 5. Can Ferrari start to work as a team here?
If he's interested in doing that, Charles Leclerc had a bit of a final qualifying. And it sounds as if, in the question with these cars, it's up front nicely at the moment. Ferrari-powered cars have got a little plume of vapour, which is in
there. Has finished 14th in the last 2 British Grand Prix. He leads this one, swallowed up by the 2 Scarlet Reds.
Antonelli leading the world, and he just let it go, and thinking he can play the long.
Will be another one at the end of the Wellington Straight. This is Lando.
Its wheels left, right, and centre for Lando, and then he got passed by Pierre.
This is Alex Albon. Ollie Behrman is the car on a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision.
Fair cop.
And there's your damage on Oscar Piastri's front wing. That wasn't good for Oscar Piastri.
About £250,000 worth of nose and front wing.
Hamilton, who's been noted for a false start, if the data proves that he did.
Yeah, that's not slightly out of his back, but it's only noted at the moment.
Ferrari, which should still be a one-stop strategy in this here from Charles Leclerc, and providing a bit of a buffer for his nose behind and allow Charles Leclerc to build up a big gap out in front.
He'll get a half a megajoule more to charge his battery up and keeps top. Ferrari will be very keen for Hamilton to hold.
Front 3, George Russell 2.5 seconds back, just over. Isaac Hadjar within the overtake mode, 1 second in 6th. Then Bortoletto now in the final points position. He at full start.
Yeah, that's normally some data. It's not before the lights went out. Anyway, and second penalty there.
He certainly could. He's under pressure, though, at the Williams as Alpine try and move up a bit. And there you have the by our leading trio. Hamilton down these, and it is confirmation of a 5-second time penalty. Is a big blow to his race today.
It is worth having that.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you can make 6 places up, but you know what I mean. If you make a lot of places up, different.
Let's have a little look here. 4 lights and now 5.
Didn't actually, when the lights went out, he was not moving, hence this morning. Car moved slightly, almost jumped in its lights go out. Oh, that's hard. It's a They are the rules.
We've all been eager for this race, right? Just a bit too keen on that occasion.
And that's why it wasn't described. Because if you can just get your car, if you can just get your car, it made a huge difference to your first 200 metres.
Charles Leclerc, who in 2021 led the British Grand Prix, of this year's British Grand Prix, by about 3 seconds from Hamilton.
Where he finished second to Antonelli. As soon as he got within my overtake, and he actually in P5, very close to the pace.
On the team radio about them.
Yeah, I've been listening closely. Unfortunately, it's going from bad to worse. That explains why he's dropping back from his teammate Leclerc here.
There's a lot of action down that hangar straight. We're far back, but this pressure is mounting, and the challenge has come.
What we're seeing here is a sprint race about where they need to deploy their energy. So they all learn so much in those 17 laps.
Right, as they make their way down now the Wellington Straight towards Brooklyn. That move is Kimi Antonelli, but you know it is coming soon. Meanwhile, Russell, no concerns on the gearbox, say Mercedes.
Russell's got a lot of fans here at Silverstone. One of them is not Max Verstappen homing in, but not yet within the overtake mode. There they are, dropped out of the overtake zone behind his teammate Max Verstappen. Fancies changing that, but at the moment you can't gap, but that's not enough. Antonelli takes too much curb, so moves around a little bit. You hesitate getting on the throttle.
Leclerc, it is all going swimmingly well here at Silverstone this afternoon. His closest championship rival is George Russell, and Russell's still behind him. Lewis Hamilton tries to break the toe and keeps Antonelli at bay.
As he puts the power down, that's not only wasting battery, he's really under pressure now.
Right, into Copse we go. Kimi Antonelli inside at Copse. Antonelli up into second place. We were maybe Hamilton was expecting there. He might have got caught out a bit because that was very opportune.
I think he might have needed the boost to defend down to Brooklands on this lap. Then you could then say the overtake is done. Start getting off after Charles Leclerc, who's now over 4.
So this is how Kimi Antonelli did it, and he realised that that moment was there.
Lewis a little bit by surprise. Lewis tried to cover it off, but in a very fair way. None of it, but that was a very unorthodox place to overtake. But we're
team radio.
Ready for 2 laps out.
Happy Max Verstappen. Okay, Ferrari don't mind that too much because Lewis Hamilton, Antonelli, Ferrari have already, I think, counted Lewis Hamilton out of this. But this is all about focus on Charles Leclerc, trying to get a lead in about 8 to 10 laps time.
Last win for Charles Leclerc. Second buffer over Kimi Antonelli, and a long, long way to go.
Clean and clear, a tenth quicker in the second sector than Leclerc. Lower, interestingly. So it was actually Leclerc. We know Antonelli would have used a lot of power there to get past. Well, it's state of charge, SOC, back under control.
It's you've got to top back up again before you can get maximum. However much he is concerned about the downshifts in the back currently, Isaac Hadjar behind him now has started this race.
Maybe Max said the downshifts are good.
Bleeped out.
Interesting point.
Unless, of course, we've got the feeling, given Max's demeanour all weekend long. He'll enjoy this, though, chasing down George Russell. And he's very much. Leclerc gaining a place at the start. Lewis Hamilton's picked up a place already, or a couple of places in this.
So only marginally, and they're quite a bit quicker between. But Antonelli, he wants to win this Grand Prix, of course he does. Is in the World Championship with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, and they're behind him. Of course he wants to catch him and win the Grand Prix, and there will be, my goodness, that was some understeer there for Lando, waiting for the front axle to grip up.
Yeah, for Antonelli, it's not going too badly at the moment. Of course, here at Silverstone, a couple of third places and 2019 runner-up that particular year to Lewis Hamilton.
About Carlos Sainz's good start up to 10th, but he's lost 3 places since the great race pace. They're 2.5 seconds off the pace. That's interesting, isn't it?
And he's on
other than grips, like a pencil eraser. And Verstappen homes in ever more on the gearbox.
Picked up when he made contact and had to change that front wing, but through Copse, George Russell ahead of Max Verstappen, but for chasing 4th place here. Maggots into Beckett's hanger straight.
Now, there's some bits and pieces we've got to sort out with these cars. They're a lot much better, can't they? As Arvid Lindblad can go a lot faster, and Lawson's reply will be managing my tyres. get off my case.
So, Ted,
for a pit stop, not least Red Bull. Alonso, some movement. Albon does have damage and is a lap down already, 55 seconds after pitting on the formation lap. Here is Alex Albon.
and then go out and then come in to retire.
Yeah, what a day for Britain.
One who races, of course, under the Thai flag. Disappointment. Brit scoring points. Arvid Lindblad would like his teammate to hurry up a bit so he can easily pass him. George Russell, who'd like Max Verstappen to disappoint. A 5-second time penalty.
Well, Verstappen's 4.8, and with his penalties running a net 5th place. And Verstappen to have yet another podium. What's the tab?
Pretty staggering here, but in terms of podiums, 15.
Yeah.
12, I think it was, at Silverstone. All of the Grand Prix laps led, not necessarily here at Silverstone, where he's got 3 Grand Prix. Verstappen just about 3 car lengths behind.
Red Bull and the Ford power unit with the Red Bull power.
To the inside, Verstappen for one moment thought about doing the same. Early on Lewis Hamilton, now Max Verstappen on George Russell.
Right, watch out. Can Russell come back at him down the back straight?
Shut. Russell trying to go round the outside, and that's 2. Now dives into the pits to change tyres.
Yeah, that's George's biggest fan. That was super aggressive.
Our tyres on Verstappen's Red Bull, and out he comes, 2 points place in a really nice bit of clean air for that tighter inside line and comfortably ahead of the Racing Bulls.
It's you carry on. He carries on, you pit. And Red Bull, Mercedes react to that, or will they try and get an offset by running George?
On the hard tyre, can you put in a lap that is hardest tyre in the Pirelli range? Is it going to take you a couple of laps and therefore
so early? And by the way, the 2 Red Bull drivers, brand new set of hard compound, which Max Verstappen is now on, so they're on.
Yeah, they certainly are. 17 laps led for Charles. Out in front by over 4 seconds. 4.2 seconds. Yet another trip around Silverstone. We're on board with Lando in the white puffy clouds, and he can look a lot at Isaac Hadjar's rear wing.
And that's a good 4 or 5 or even 6 laps earlier than Red Bull have got.
Quite.
McLaren will react to this and bring Norris in and keep
Lando's hanging in there. Tires seem to be okay.
Seconds for a virtual safety car.
It's an umbrella. Anywhere near the pit lane, you won't get the benefit.
Charles Leclerc is just going through Maggots and Beckett's currently, so no chance for him.
Because otherwise they'd have had an expensive pit stop.
Bringing your brolly to Silverstone, please.
It's amazing it doesn't happen more often, isn't it? But I guess they had to.
You know, in the side pods, or blowing onto a car or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, Charles Leclerc has eked out a bit more time.
So as the fuel load's going down, as the front enough.
Isaac Hadjar now with Arvid Lindblad. Hasn't pitted, and Isaac Hadjar obviously has been.
Need to serve the penalty and just rejoined just behind.
When you serve a time penalty at a pit stop, you're to touch the car, not to actually get going as the.
And for a 2 point something.
Lewis was stationary. Pierre Gasly seemed to be stationary for a little. Tyre offset between Max Verstappen and George Russell. Behind those 2, down in 6th place, having now served that.
So that has it's cost Lewis Hamilton penalty. His car was moving just before the lights went out. So judgment of facts there, I'm afraid. So he didn't jump the start, as we said and we saw. Let's see what happens now. Bring him up more to sort of the absolute front running.
Interestingly, they only told Lewis Hamilton he had a 5-second penalty. Charles Leclerc is now going to pit, just in case Mercedes let you run your race and not tell you about the penalty. Sergio Perez on his way into the pits. And
yeah, Leclerc had a bit of traffic on the way through that. 3-4 tenths per lap to Antonelli, and I think Ferrari to 2.4. And that will keep him in this phase while he's actually out front until he's pit.
Breathe and use whatever pace he has got left. He just went a fraction in the pit stop phase. Lewis Hamilton has now set the fastest lap option, potentially for an overtake on his old teammate as he gets the foot down. But although he is on much older tyres than Verstappen.
The young driver, now he's actually out in front until they've got the durability we expect, then they should be.
We are P6, we are fighting for the podium, P3.
Down to you at race control.
Yeah, so the other battle that's going on, obviously, is with the other team point 6 to Lawson. Hopefully he'll hold up Hadja. Old news, but it's a fight to look out for.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Pierre Gasly.